I'm Dr. Dave Janda. Welcome back to our ongoing Operation Freedom Health and Wellness series featuring our friend, your friend, the world's friend, Dr. Peter Glidden. Peter, for those of you not familiar, is one of the top naturopathic physicians, not just in our country, but the world. He's a fantastic researcher and an outstanding author. I encourage you to get his two books, which should be the foundation of your medical library. They are of our families. Everybody is sick, and I know why. An Attempt to Cure with Holistic Medicine. Both of those books are available on his website, drglidden, Glidden.com. drglidden.com also is chock full of tremendous, insightful information that you'll never get through the bought-off lamestream fake media. And the full disclosure, the topics we're going to discuss today are going to further length at OperationFreedomHealth.com. We have a free video on the site produced by Dr. Glidden, the 12 bad foods for you to avoid. It's right on the top part of the right-hand side of the homepage of OperationFreedomHealth.com. And the products we discuss during the presentation today are available. No sense talking about products if you don't know where to get them or cannot get them. They are available at OperationFreedomHealth.com, full disclosure, and purchase of the products does support this platform. Pete, welcome back to the Operation Freedom Health and Wellness series. Today, we're going to discuss Selenium and how it opens many doors, positive doors, in the body.
Yeah, it's a remarkable supplement, Selenium. A colleague of mine, the guy that really I mentored under, and learned most of the medical nutrition stuff that I bring to the table now. His name was Joel Wallach, and years ago, in the 80s, I believe, he was working at Yerkes Primate Research Center in Atlanta, Georgia. And this was part of a bigger, I think it was a $25 million research project, the intention of which was to uncover the net negative effects on humans and animals of environmental pollution. So anyway, he's working at Yerkes with monkeys. I think it was rhesus monkeys. And he published that cystic fibrosis is caused by a selenium deficiency in the blood of the pregnant mother. He could turn cystic fibrosis on and off in the little baby monkeys by withholding or delivering selenium to the pregnant monkey mothers. It was a remarkable breakthrough. And when he published his research, Yerkes fired him.
Take that.
Take that.
We're not looking for solutions, right?
Yeah.
We're looking for, well, whatever.
Plus, there's that, and also the fact that a nutrient like selenium, super inexpensive, available, in the dirt, but a nutrient could have an impact on what was previously considered to be a genetic disease. You can't alter a genetic disease, was the thought, and still mostly is, in like 99% of the medical community. Can't alter a genetic disease. You're born with it, you're screwed. That's the end of the story. But Wallach's clinical experience or research experience went completely against that narrative. It was 180 degrees opposite that narrative. So for that reason, the cognitive dissonance in his superiors was so great. As, what do you mean? What do you mean? What? What do you? No, you're fired. It was like that. A classic example of cognitive dissonance. Now, interestingly enough, he then years later, he went to China. And in Kaishan province in China, there was an illness which mimicked muscular dystrophy. All these kids in Kaishan province were getting these symptoms similar to muscular dystrophy. Wallach figured out it was, again, a selenium deficiency. Because in that part of the world, there was zero selenium in the soil. I mean, zero. There wasn't any. None. So the kids were, raised in a selenium deficient environment in utero. And so they all got this disease. Now, and now in Kaishan province, the kids go to school and there's a little selenium supplement on their desk. Because it's paid for by the government, because they know that it's a direct relationship. And he also proved a causative link between selenium and muscular dystrophy, selenium deficiencies and muscular dystrophy. So this is remarkable stuff for two reasons. Number one, that a single nutrient, essential nutrient, could have such an impact on a really bad diseases, right? And number two, that the information was completely blackballed.
You know, it's interesting when I go back to where I went to medical school, allopathic, MD. We were taught that the only nutrient that's ever been shown to reduce a disease process is with scurvy with vitamin C.
Yeah.
Right?
That's 100% incorrect.
Right. I mean, no, but vitamin C does prevent scurvy.
It does.
But what's incorrect is the fact that that's the only one. Right, yeah.
And that's a really interesting thing to talk about in the bigger context here before we get into more of the details of selenium, right? Because let's think about it. Scurvy is a horrible disease.
Oh, terrible.
Your teeth fall out, your bones rot, there's big open sores on your skin. I mean, it's a slow, ugly, painful death. Now, if you didn't know that it was caused by a deficiency in vitamin C, and you were a medical professional, what would you do? Well, you'd do all these heroic things, bandages, and
treat
salves,
the wounds, yeah.
Screw the bones together and whatever, in order to try to deal with it, and you would fail. Because you were focusing on the pathology and blind to the physiology. And this is, in a nutshell, what allopathic medicine trains its practitioners to do. The tumor is not the disease. It's the result of the disease. The constricted airway in an asthmatic patient is not the disease. It's the result of the disease. The eczematous eruption on the skin is not the disease. It's the result of the disease. So in naturopathic medicine, we are trained to develop and deliver therapeutics that support the physiology of the body. Because the idea being that if the physiology can be straightened out, the pathology will disappear if you intervene in time, as evidenced by scurvy. I mean, it's remarkable. And just as a little historical anecdote, because from time to time I love history, British sailors back in the day, like the Revolutionary War times, when the British ruled the seven seas, the British sailors were referred to as limeys. And that's because the Brits had figured out, they didn't know what vitamin C was, but they knew if their crew members ate limes every day, then they didn't get scurvy.
Right.
So they had barrels and barrels and barrels of limes on the ships. And that's why they were called limeys. History is interesting in many regards. So nutrient intervention for the prevention and the treatment of chronic disease is a really big deal. It is by and large completely overlooked by conventional medicine, and it's what gets me and a handful of my colleagues up every morning. Because the simple things that you can do, it's like with spina bifida or cleft lip and cleft palate. Like a couple times a year you'll see all these advertisements on TV. Right. Donate 50 cents, save the children. And, that's gonna, your donation will enable 5 kids to have the surgery on the cleft lip. Well, that's great, but it would be better to spend 5 cents on the nutrient supplements that are necessary for the mother so that she doesn't have a baby born with spina bifida or cleft lip or cleft palate. But that's not the way that medicine is organized. Right. In the 21st century. It's all about the pathology. It's not about anything else. And this is a giant problem, Dave. It's huge. So with selenium, let's talk about the doors that it opens in the body on a beneficial basis. Super important, selenium. It's an essential nutrient. The body needs it, can't make it. It's a mineral like calcium. Plants can't make it. Animals can't make it. The only way it gets into the body is if it's in the soil that the food is growing in. And if there are no herbicides or pesticides around, because those inhibit the absorption of minerals into the body of the plant. So selenium is extremely concentrated in the eyes of animals with the most acute vision, like eagles and hawks. They have like 10 times more selenium concentration in their eye than humans do. Selenium is really, really, really important for the health of the eye. If you have any eye problem whatsoever, I don't care what it is, I do not care what it is, you would benefit from supplementing with selenium on a regular basis. But the most important aspect of selenium is in its action on the fire department of the body. What's that, Dr. Glidden? The fire department? I didn't know the body had a fire department.
Well, it does.
Most people know about the police department of the body, the immune system. Not a lot of people in the lay public know about the fire department. So the body has mechanisms by which it puts out the fires of inflammation, which are a natural part of life. I mean, you move your arms, there's friction, there's inflammation. You breathe in carbon dioxide. There's free radicals in the body, which create inflammation. I mean, inflammation is just a part of life. And the body has a fire department, the intention of which is to deal with that stress. Now, the way that the body deals with that stress is with a molecule called glutathione. Glutathione is like the captain of the fire department in the human body, and glutathione is responsible for putting out the fires of inflammation in the human body. But like a bumblebee, when a bumblebee stings you, the bumblebee dies. When glutathione acts on inflammation in the body, the glutathione molecule is used up in the process, unless there's selenium. If selenium is present, the glutathione is recycled, and it's used again, and it's used again, and it's used again. So in order to assist the body in putting out the fires of inflammation, which are everywhere all of the time, selenium is the key to promoting the body's natural endogenous built-in ability to do that. And, you know, that has ramifications with every illness.
Absolutely.
Because every illness is related to inflammation. There isn't one illness that's not related to inflammation. So selenium supplementation, super important. And when you use selenium as an add-on to the 90 essential nutrients, then it's gangbusters. And this is our message, right? That this is the holistic medical nutrition message, that there are 90 essential nutrients that the body needs, not just one, not just selenium. And they all work together in a nice concert. So when you give the body everything it needs, plus a little extra selenium, or a little extra calcium, or a little extra this, or a little extra that, depending on the circumstances, you get much more therapeutic bang for your buck. And that's why we get often remarkable results, because we're the only ones talking about holistic nutrition. Everybody else, like Linus Pauling and all of the research that's being done with nutrition, is fractionated. It's all independent nutrients given in megadoses. This is a really big deal. So the recommendation then, as if you want to slam these doors and kick these tires, in addition to the 90 essential nutrients, which are found in the foundation pack, the Healthy Foundation Pack, get a bottle of selenium. The recommendation with selenium, because it's a mineral, is it's most efficiently absorbed if you take it between meals. So the recommendation would be 1 or 2 selenium 3 times a day between meals. Do that for 8 weeks. And look to see how the inflammation in your body is affected. And one of the first things that you will probably see is if you have any age spots or liver spots on your skin, they will start to go away. Because those are a direct result of inflammation in the body and a weak fire department. So now you're increasing the strength of the fire department. Body's going to clean itself up. And that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick.
Foundation Pack, 90 essential nutrients. That's available at OperationFreedomHealth.com. The components of the Foundation Pack, Pete, briefly.
Multiple vitamin, multivitamin, multi-mineral, multi-antioxidant, prebiotic, probiotic powder, plus some other things thrown into the bargain. It's a supplement called Tangy Tangerine. Beyond Tangy Tangerine, it's a powder. Super absorbable, super sophisticated formula, by the way. Plant-derived minerals, which is a liquid supplement. It costs, I think, $21 or $22 a bottle. And that one supplement gives you 66% of your body's nutrient needs. That's 2/3. That's a game changer because everybody is deficient in minerals. You can get vitamins from meat and from plants and from grains. You can get amino acids from meat, plant, and grains. You can get essential fats from meat, plant, and grains. You can't get minerals because the animal's body can't make the mineral. You must supplement with minerals. They're 2/3 of the body's nutrient needs, and they're not in the food. They're not. Your body is deficient in minerals. If you are alive, your body is deficient in minerals. So the mineral supplement, which is part of the foundation pack's a big deal. Third part is a highly absorbable calcium and magnesium supplement, which is remarkable. If I go 3 days without it, I start to notice it. I'll start to get heartburn. I'll start to get restless legs or Charlie horses, muscle cramps in my legs at night in bed. And those are all calcium deficiency illnesses. And the fourth and final component, fish oil capsules, which give you omega-3 and omega-6 essential fats. And so all of these things together give you everything that your body needs in doses that you can actually absorb at a pretty affordable price, by the way. And then when you start adding things like selenium to it or the Good Herbs products, I mean, it's a whole new world. And honest to God, Dave, you know, if I've said it once, I've said it 1,000 times, and I'll say it 1,000 more times. Our body's ability to fix themselves are much greater than anybody has led us to believe.
It's true.
And if people are struggling with a chronic illness, then the first two things that they should do fill their nutritional tank up with the foundation pack, because your body is deficient in things. And look what happens if you're deficient in vitamin C, for goodness sake, scurvy.
Right.
Look what happens if you're deficient in selenium, for goodness sake, cystic fibrosis. And so fill your body with the foundation pack, fill the tank up. And number two, stop eating the 12 bad foods. Stop eating food that's coming up the works. You don't take your car to the pump and put diesel fuel in an unleaded engine.
Right.
Smart enough not to do that. So when you clean your diet up, start giving your body the good food and fill the nutritional tank up. That's when the magic happens. And that's why we do what we do.
And all these products Dr. Glidden discussed are available on OperationFreedomHealth.com, as well as that free video on the 12 bad foods, upper right-hand corner, OperationFreedomHealth.com. Pete, before we leave, educate our listeners on drglidden.com.
Well, drglidden.com. That's a culmination of my work over the last 15 years to educate the public. Because, you know, right now, I mean, I don't know what the numbers are. I think maybe there's 5,000 naturopathic doctors in the world. And of those 5,000, honestly, there are about 300 that I would comfortably refer a friend or a family member to. So, you know, 300 people like me in the world who actually have a clue about this stuff and clinical experience. But 300 million people in the United States is just not enough to go around. So to you know, attempt to undo this bottleneck just a little bit, I've put together a lot of information at drglidden.com, health recovery information, medical myth busting. I tell you stuff that's correct and true and science-based, clinically verified that you're not going to find in the mainstream. Empower people. I mean, it's like that old saying, you know, I'd rather teach someone to fish than give them a fish, right? Teach someone how to fish. I'd rather do that than just give them a fish. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired and you want to educate yourself about alternatives to the pharmaceutical and surgical method, then go to drglidden.com, because I've lined it up for you and I add new content all the time.
Pete, I'd like to thank you for everything you have done, are doing, and will do. Folks, more information available at operationfreedomhealth.com along with the products, and also wealth of information at drglidden.com. Thanks, Pete, for everything you have done, are doing, and will do. Thank you, folks, for joining us. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time today.